Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Retro Pop Planet. And welcome back to another episode of Can I Fix This? It's a series where I go out thrifting, and if I come across something really cool and interesting and retro, something maybe that I grew up with as a kid or something that I wanted, then I will take it home and see if it's fixable, whether it's a toy or a piece of old electronics. So I've had this project on the back burner for about a year. I actually forgot I had bought this from a thrift store. I only paid $2 for it, but it is well, depending on which site you look at, it is the 1985 New Bright Magic Mike robot. Now, I got this information from the Old Robots website. I've also seen anywhere from 1985 through 1989 where they were still selling these. I know there were several different variations. There was a silver one, but the reason I knew about this robot is because I still have my childhood original, which is very similar. I have an original Tommy still in the box. Now the box is not in the best condition, but I got this for Christmas. It was either 1984 or 1985, and I absolutely love this toy, which is probably the reason why it's still here and still in the box. I remember I had a lot of use out of this, and I always made sure he was protected and he was back in his case when I was done playing with him. Throughout the course of this video, I discovered that unfortunately my original Tommy no longer works, so maybe this is a project for a future video. But this one, because it's older, is actually not as advanced as the one that I picked up at the thrift store for $2. So we're gonna check that one out. The one difference is actually the one that we're doing today on the channel actually has a smoking feature. You're supposed to put some sort of oil down into a hole and it will actually like smoke out of his mouth. This one does not do that. This was not as advanced. However, the talking mechanism is exactly the same, and as well as I believe the running around mechanism. I've also read that the one that we're working on has a bump and go feature. I don't remember this having a bump and go, meaning it would hit something and then turn around and bounce around and go in the opposite direction. It also had a grab hand, and I don't know if it's still in here, but the only real accessory it came with was a business card that it could hold. So you've got a Tommy talking robot that walks around wishing you a good day, and he has a business card that he can give you, I guess, if you want to do some business with him. Now, growing up in the generation that I did, late 70s, early 1980s, robots were everywhere. I'm sure depending on which decade that you grew up in, you might have your own favorite robot, whether it was the Forbidden Planet robot. Mine actually is R2-D2. I'm curious, what is your favorite robot? If you have one, please leave it in a comment, and maybe it'll start a bit of a discussion. But I remember the toys in the early 80s, everything was gearing towards AI, which is sort of ironic now that it's back in the news. But we had a feeling that a lot of these toys, had personalities, whether it was the Omnibot from Radio Shack, which I was absolutely obsessed with. We never really got an R2-D2 that could actually do what we saw on screen, and that was the kind of thing that we always wanted. And I think also one of my beloved bots was the Rocky robot, the robot from, was it Rocky 3 maybe? I can't remember exactly which Rocky movie. Leave that in the comments as well if you remember. But this robot is unique in that I never had this one, and these of course were made by New Bright in Hong Kong. New Bright, if it's the same company, still makes electronic toys. For example, a lot of the radio control car toys that you can see or that you can buy at Walmart are made by New Bright. Again, I don't know if it's the same company, but I think the logo is relatively similar. What sort of gives it a bit of personality is that there's a button on top, and you push this button and it says something like, I'm a atomic talking robot. Please give my best wishes to everybody. That's what I remember this one saying. And I remember going around town pressing that button.
I am the atomic powered robot. Please give my best wishes to everybody.
And the other feature it has is a siren. I always thought it was a siren, but apparently it's a ray gun, which would have been cool if it actually came with a ray gun. And it has some light up lights. I believe mine has light up lights as well, but it doesn't have the smoking thing. And you're supposed to be able to put some sort of oil. Cooking oil, I guess, is probably not good for it. I think it usually gums up the works. You're supposed to use some sort of a 3-in-1 oil. I know a little bit about these electronics. They are not digital. It's a completely analog toy. I know it has a voice box, which I believe was copyrighted in Japan. There are several different toys, so I have some familiarity with this box. This one, I put batteries in it. It fades out a little bit, and I know just from testing it that the motor doesn't work. I'm hoping that's something that I can unfreeze and, you know, just kind of get it back into a displayable and a working condition. I mentioned in the beginning of the video that his voice was a little messed up. It wasn't coming out very well. I determined that the tape that was actually holding it down once upon a time actually just shredded in my hands, and I think he had come a little bit misplaced. And this is just a primitive record player, as you saw in the video. This one is much better than some of the other older ones that I've worked with. Actually, a lot of girls' dolls from the 70s had this exact same record player. However, this one's a little bit different in that the record player is held in place. Some of those older ones are a nightmare because the record, if you turn it just right, it will actually fall out of alignment as you're putting it back together, and it'll make you want to pull your hair out. And then, as I suspected, the motor was jammed, and actually all it took was me just sort of rotating the wheel mechanism here and just getting those brushes to clean that motor. And it works great. I've got it all back together. The arms are a little bit loose. He sounds great, and I don't know, I'm really happy to have this in my little robot collection. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Please leave me a comment and feel free to subscribe if you feel inclined to do so. And without further ado, let's test this little boy out and see how he works.